I can't believe it. It's finally happening. Friday, 25th September 2020, and it's finally out. Making this song was such a challenge. I'll try and explain why, because I think it's quite interesting, and it will actually give you a deeper understanding of how music is actually made in 2020.
Like it's all beneath us, drowning in the feeling. Can't help but take it farther. I'm breathing underwater. Feel like we could fly tonight, straight into the darkness. We ain't even asking why, just waiting for the morning sun comes up, make it go back down, cause I just wanna swim in your love right now.
The song you just heard, that's Underwater. That's the new single, the one that was just released. If you're interested to listen to it in full, it will be linked down below in the description. Today's video is all about how this song was actually made. And as you might be able to imagine, in 2020, collaborating with a singer-songwriter and another producer is a lot harder than usually. This right there is the entire project, 52 individual tracks making up the entire song. We'll go through almost all of them and I'll explain you how the song was made. But first, let's talk about like my biggest struggle finishing this song.
So help me out.
The song has a tempo of 145 BPM, which isn't usually the type of like tempo I'm working with. I'm more like 120, 25 kind of guy, more like house influenced, more deep house influenced music. This song was clearly, the vocal was recorded on top of a future bass song, which was amazing and I liked it, but I thought about transferring it into something else. I tried multiple versions, at least 10 drops, it didn't work. My brain and also everyone else that I played it to was always like, I'm expecting a future bass drop. The song leads up, leads up, leads up. The vocal does the same, and you just expect it. You just expect those chords and stopping them on the snare and having that typical beat, but I just didn't want to do it. So I tried and tried and tried and tried. Eventually came up with this version that had another problem, but more on that in a bit. First, let's go through all of the tracks. First up, the drop, I've looped it.
Can't help but take it farther. I'm breathing underwater.
There's actually not that much going on, a little bit of layering, but let's go through the individual parts. We got a kick, obviously. And it's not playing 4 to the floor, it plays a rhythm, a very simple one. You can just like check the MIDI. And then we already got a sub bass line. Those are the notes of the sub bass, also quite simple. It's following the harmonies, the chord structure of the initial instrumental this was recorded to. And that's just the sub bass, so the very, very low. This was then layered with another bass playing pretty much the same thing, just way more audible. And I had the feeling it's not enough, so I layered one more. That is like a very distorted, crunched kind of bass. And what makes it really interesting is like the gliding of the notes. As you can see, they're overlapping. And when they're overlapping, it's gliding from one note to another. I think this is like one of those details that makes the song more interesting. So that's the foundation of the track. 3 basses, a very subby one, a very crunchy one, and one that is like the main one of all of those 3 basses. And it still doesn't flow. It sounds like it's stuttering. And that's because like the snare is missing. This is so crucial for this type of beat. The snare was, by the way, made with kick 2. It's actually made for shaping kicks mostly, but you can also make snares with it and have like full control over the length of the snare, the tone of it, and a lot more. Then added a crash, added some hi-hat patterns, and one that actually plays a very typical trap hat kind of part. And this really glues the entire track together, the hats on top, and then having the variation every 4 bars where you have this shuffled kind of hat at the very end. Then let's get to the main part, the sound, the one that is like causing the second problem. I'll address it. Like, just listen for yourself. The main synthesizer. It's a pluggy sound. I think it was made with Omnisphere. I had then to like pick it up and transfer it into audio because my computer couldn't handle it. But it's then layered again. Here's the melody. It's layered with another synthesizer. Very subtle, just for the attack. And then, for example, in the last drop of the song, this is layered with even more stuff to make it more interesting. We got another layer on top. Also very distorted, just for the atmosphere. And also just in the very last drop, we have like a melody that plays in between. Absolutely love it. It makes like, because the track starts out simple with a simple drop, just the main plug, the bass and the drums. And then the second and third one add something to it. And still at the same time trying to keep it minimal, keep it down, because that was like the main vibe of the song. I don't want to overcrowd it. So just something in between. It's really just the hint, the atmosphere in the background. And then, as you can see from the structure of the song, we got like the intro section right here. I mean, just listen to the entire song, you'll be able to hear the structure. Then these bits right here are the drops, where the green is in at first. And this one right here is the third one. And let me maybe collapse some of the tracks, because this right here is all of the bass. This right here, all of the drums. If we close that, pretty much everything that is left, this entire section, everything that is like purple or violet or whatever you call this color in English, that's all the vocal. So for a song that is vocal heavy, vocals throughout, vocals are usually half of the work. And as you can see, also most of the processing is on the vocals. So the entire vocal group has the Cream RC, that's this analog unit right here, EQ compressor on top, RX7 to cut out the breathing, OTT to just make it like, I don't know, OTT just makes everything a little special, but be careful with it, don't overdo it. Then we got RX7 mouth declick for those nasty kind of sound that might be in a vocal. The channel EQ to get rid of like between 2 and 6K, because I felt like the vocal was sticking out in that frequency range in the song, in the instrumental. And then we got the Valhalla Vintage Verb just to glue all of the vocals together and use it as an effect to automate it. And then the last chunk are all of the effect sounds. Everything that is blue in here are just, yeah, transitional effects. And the one that actually defines the entire song is that one pitch down kind of song right before every single drop. It's right here, this one. I don't know where I got it from. I think I reversed the first part of the synthesizer. So you just take the very first hit of the drop, put some reverb on top, reverse it, and put it in front. It usually sounds extremely good. Let me get rid of the pitch effect and just play you the initial effect sound. Yeah, that's the reverb just reversed. And then if you add the pitch automation, at the very end it goes down. And I love it, because this creates tension and it goes down and you expect that drop. And it then actually also follows.
Take it farther, I'm breathing underwater.
And yeah, then there's this one more problem, but first, as always, when I finish a song and it gets released, all I do is just try and work on the next one. What a busy day. Ooh, and windy. Ooh, and cold. Whoa. But at least I'm all done with all of the work and all of the tasks, all of the business stuff, working on some new music, promoting the release. So it's okay, it's fine. It's Friday evening. It's time for the weekend. Heading back home, dinner, relaxing, and then that one more thing about the song that might get me actually in trouble. Ooh, I'm still so happy. Release days are always so good. I got so many messages on Instagram saying like that they like the song, and it really, like, that's why I'm doing all of this. But let's get to that one last problem. And it's the main reason why this song took so long to actually get released. And it was clearing the right situation, because some might have already like realized or pointed even out. It sounds a little bit like Sunglasses at Night. It's similar due to the plugged synth, which anyone can use, and like using the same notes of the same chord. I asked a lawyer that is specialized in this kind of music stuff. He said absolutely no problem, but just to make sure, I got in contact with the people that own the rights and asked them. They also luckily said it's fine, because without their okay, I still could do it, but it's too risky. I prefer being on the safe side, even if it means to delay a song by so much. So sorry that you had to wait so long until it's finally released. But it's out there. It's out there for you to enjoy, so please do so. First link in the description. Click on it, listen to it, put it on repeat, put it in your playlist, share it, support me and the other ones involved in making this song. And I hope you like it. I can't wait to now just make the next one, release it, and hopefully reach even more people.
Living like the world don't need